Actually, I kind of do, but that's different. Okay. And we are live on YouTube. So, welcome everybody. This is SongNet. My name is Jimmy, and we've got a really great event again today. Uh, what happened here? This is kind of weird. My camera must be a little out. Anyway, so we've got a really good event today. We have Chuck Tennin, and Colonel Darryl Harrelson. I like to call them the Colonel and Chuck because they've been doing stuff together for a long time, and they've been friends of mine for a long time. And we're going to be listening to everybody's music and making some commentary on what's going on. But first, I want to give them a little bit of time to introduce themselves. So let's start with Colonel Darryl. So, Darryl, tell us about what you do, how you got it and started, and all that stuff, what you're looking at.
Well, we had a recording studio out in Woodland Hills, and then we moved out to Prescott, Arizona a couple of years ago. I got real lucky. We bought 5 acres in Prescott in 2019 before all the craziness happened. So we got a real good price, had a well already. So we built on it in 2022 and built the studio. Studio's been running about a year now, and we're doing really well. We're doing a lot of working with a lot of bands, especially in the city. We have people that come out from California record with us. I'm former president of California Country Music Association, former vice president, North American Country Music Association out of Nashville. Worked in country music most of my life, but we're doing a lot of blues now. We're doing a lot of things. I'm also boom op and post production audio for a lot of Hollywood film productions, so we can get a lot of music that we produce into films and stuff, which is real nice. So we'll talk about that a little later.
All right, sounds good. And Chuck, you've been in this industry for a real long time. Tell us what you're doing right now.
Yeah, celebrating 50 years. No, I started out in booking groups in clubs long time ago, and then one day I ran into somebody that changed my life in music. His name was Ray Thompson. He was a foremost engineer, producer, and he took me under his wing, and I worked with him in so many projects. He did every big name group there was in the industry. I mean, 450, and he gave me a start on that. But in 1971, I started Big Fish Music. I was managing a few groups, and I evolved it to 2 companies. Big Fish Music was BMI, and California Sun Music was ASCAP. They wanted me to be a producer and do live recordings, and I did a lot of live recordings, but I really wanted to focus on music publishing. I wanted to find great songs, and they made me a professional voting member executive of the Recording Academy because of all my credits in that. And I think that's a nice honor. And then NAM, which is the National Association of Music Merchandisers, they have tons of members. They have a NAM show every year. They made me a legacy member, and they just brought it up. I did a oral history video for them of the people I worked with, and they said they sent me a Facebook thing and said, "Congratulations, Chuck, you're in the top 20 for the most watched video." And I did that about 6 or 8 years ago. But I wanted to focus on helping songwriters and helping artists, upcoming unknown ones that don't know a lot about the music industry. And the one thing that I did learn over the years, pretty much there isn't a question I can't answer about music, because I've been there from walking the streets of Sunset Boulevard where they had all the companies to God knows what, but I worked with so many people. I can name a couple for you. I got the honor to work up at Neil Young's ranch for 11 days working on the Harvest album. And I used to go up to his house when he was in Topanga Canyon and helped him mix some of the songs on After the Gold Rush. And I did Jimi Hendrix's last album for Bill Graham at the Berkeley Community Theater 3 months before he died, and I had the real pleasure of sitting down with him and talking to him. The nicest man you could ever meet. But there were so many groups and people, Three Dog Night, Steppenwolf, you name it. I worked with a lot of them, and I'm very grateful for that I had that opportunity. So now, there's more songwriters and artists that are trying to pursue their dream, and I try to help them and educate them. What we do is every day, every week, we allow people to submit music. We review them. We do a full review. It's no cost to do that, but no give me's. We tell it like it is, and we help them to tell them what's wrong and what it needs and how to fix it. And we can help them do that because Big Fish Music and Big Fish Music Publishing Group evolved into a full service music company that we could cover everything. We can produce music, we can engineer, mix. I do a lot of projects with Darryl. Darryl's a great producer and worked with him for a long time. But we review a lot of music. We tell it like it is.
Right. That's kind of artist development, and that's really good stuff, and we're excited about that. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get started with some listening. And before we do that, Steve, can you watch and see how many of you guys are on a different time zone, like from the East Coast? Because we need to put you guys. Okay, so we have. Well, we got a few here. So, okay, that's Sham, Denise.
Do the hand raise, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you have the hand raised icon, that helps.
Yeah.
Okay,
right.
so Debbie,
Mm-hmm.
Stephanie,
Manual.
Manual. Yeah.
Manuel, Sham, Denise.
Hey, while you're doing that, Jimmy, let me just explain one thing just so I don't offend anybody. I am a Kentucky colonel, not a military colonel. I used to work for companies that put on talent competitions all over the country. We go into a city and we do a week-long competition. We had like 400 bands or artists in a week type of a thing. And because of that work in that part of the country, I was commissioned a Kentucky colonel by the governor of Kentucky. So it's an honorary title, but I use it for music because nobody's going to remember the name Darryl when you're at a party, but they do remember colonel. So I don't want to offend anybody that's actually served.
Okay.
Can I add two things that I'd like to bring up or mention? I was a judge on the American Song Festival, which was the largest songwriting competition in the world for 11 years. And then I did, I think, 5 years on the Colgate Country Music Showdown. I think Darryl did that too.
I did almost a decade, yeah.
We did that. And so there was a lot of things, and I did a lot of seminars and workshops for the songwriting organizations, but we tried to help people. That's one of the things I like doing, is to give them guidance and help them.
Okay,
Help
thanks.
them along.
Okay, so now let's see, Steve, you got the line up a little bit.
Yeah. Well, first of all, if you're anywhere east, down at the bottom of your screen, there's a little thing, icon that says React. If you click on that, you raise your hand. Then I know who's, in Eastern time zones, kind of thing.
Yeah, so Sham did that.
Right. Shan did that. Emmanuel,
Emmanuel
and
did
I
that.
think Debbie too. Right. Okay.
Yeah, Debbie. Debbie's got a thing going on there.
And
All right.
so we'll do those. We'll do those first. All right.
And
Well,
then
let's start
Denise.
with Debbie.
I think Denise is also out, right?
I
Yeah.
don't know.
Oh no,
No.
Denise is local. Okay.
Okay.
Stephanie, you were from the East Coast, or no? Okay.
So Debbie will get you up. Then let me get the lyrics up, and I share my screen.
Okay, here we go.
And this is called The Question.
I saw her on the floor with color books and crayons, like so many times before. It was getting close to supper time when the news broke in, and that's when she asked the question with no answer to give. I could tell by her puzzled look she needed more than me. So we walked hand in hand to our church just down the street. And when we walked inside, she rushed right to him. She got down on her little knees. She bowed her head and then she asked Jesus, don't they know it's Christmas time? A time for peace on earth, not war. To the people of the world and all the boys and girls, Jesus, don't they know it's Christmas time? She looked at me and smiled, and she said, Mommy, I'm done. Well, I couldn't help but smile back at my little one. I tucked her into bed that night, but I couldn't fall asleep. Her words were playing through my mind unselfishly.
Are you ready, kids?
She asked Jesus, don't they know it's Christmas time? A time for peace on earth, not war. Do the people of the world and all the boys and girls, Jesus, don't they know it's Christmas time? Jesus, don't they know?
Doc, you want to go first? You want me to go first?
I don't care. I can go first, and if that's all right with you.
Sure, go ahead.
You know, Debbie, those are really nice lyrics. You have a good voice, and I think you need to take that song to the next level because it's a demo, and to get the best results, and it needs to be properly produced. And I think the feel needs to have more the spirit of Christmas and the warm feeling of Christmas. And I think, you know, in the chorus, you could have kids doing it, but I think if you take it to the next level, I think you'd have a really good song there.
Thank you.
Okay. I could tell in the first 8 bars it was a Christmas song, so that's a good thing. It was right. It was pretty obvious right up the front. It was a Christmas song. The issue I'm having is it was kind of a late payoff, way into the chorus before there was really any payoff. I would, in the first verse, put your daughter asking what is, you know, kind of the what is Christmas kind of thing before the end of the verse. build on that a little bit in the second verse. And then when you get to the third verse, it starts off okay, but then it just kind of, there's no resolution. So maybe the pastor can say something to her, something that will complete the story. That's my opinion on that.
Thank you.
Yeah, lyrically for me, there's just one little thing that I kind of freaked out about.
Okay.
And that is at my age, especially at the age of some of us, seeing her on the floor. That scared the crowd of me, you know, because that's exactly what happens, you know, when you see an older person on the floor. It's like, oh my God, what's happening, you know? And then, so right away, that lyric to me hit me in a different place than what you intended, I'm sure. But,
okay. I get you. Okay. Thank you. Yes.
So that's
thank
something
you.
to think about. You know, when you're writing lyrics, you're always looking at your overall demographic. And for me, that was a little bit startling. But then I realized, it's about a little girl on the floor, not grandma's dead. You know. So
Gotcha. Okay. Yes. Thank you.
Okay. All right. What's next, Steve?
Some sleigh bells would help also.
Okay.
Yeah.
Christmas song.
And Steve, you're still muted.
Just needs to be properly produced
Okay.
and arranged and a
Yes.
few lyric changes.
Yeah. So this is
Okay.
Sham, Sundra with Higher. Okay.
Staring out at the open sky, wishing one day I'll learn to fly. Stuck on the ground here without you increases the feeling. I used to think I could read the tides when I was a passenger for the ride. There's so much wasted in search of the feeling, the reeling. Give me wings and take me higher to see it all. You're everything. Take me higher. I climb a mountain of pills inside. Still like the feeling, I like to slide. It makes the cold inside feel less like November. I spent my life learning how to hide. I made a world for me deep inside. Been gone so long, now it's hard to remember. Give me wings and take me higher to see it all. You're everything. Give me wings and take me higher to see it all. Take me higher, take me higher. Open up the sky and take me higher. Lord, open up the sky and take me higher. Lord, open up the sky. Open up the sky. Open up the sky. Oh, 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 oh.
Can you scroll back to verse 1 before you take that away, Steve?
Okay.
I just want to see the lyrics to verse 1.
Okay.
That's 2. Here we are.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. That's good. Thanks. Chuck, I can't hear you.
I'm not speaking.
Oh, I thought you were. I saw you.
No. Go ahead. You can.
Go ahead. Okay, so I'll tell you. Verse 2 was incredible. I liked verse 2. Tells you exactly what the song's about. Verse 1, the chorus, nothing really tells you what the song's about.
That's right.
If your song's about verse 2, about drugs, then you need to follow that up in the chorus. And the first couple of lines are okay, but then you gotta get hit with what you're doing about it. You know, how you're getting better or whatever the resolution is. Verse 2 is very powerful. Verse 1 was not.
Chuck?
Okay, my turn. Um, Even though the volume was a little low, it was kind of harder to hear if it was up more. But I think the strongest part is the chorus, but that still can be stronger. And Darryl made a good point. You know, it's not telling enough about what the song is about in parts. And I think some lyric changes would help. I think uh, I think again, you're working on the development of it. I think on that, uh, some instruments could be added to it to give it more flavor. Maybe in some of the lines, maybe there could be a lyrical change because you want to know what the message in the story is about. And, you know, Darryl had a good point that, yeah, it started out that way, but then something changed. I think it's just something that, well, you're developing that, you created that. And I think you just need to fix a few things and it'll get a lot better.
Jimmy?
Yeah, I liked it all the way around. One of the things I forgot to mention is that we should let these guys talk a little bit about the song before we start. We usually do that.
Yeah, that would be a good
Yeah,
thing.
because in that way we know whether or not you've actually expect this or this is like a finished product for you or something else,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
what kind
it's
of a
good to
market you're
tell.
aiming at.
It's good to tell before the song where you're at. I know you wrote it, you created it, and you're developing it. We call it a songwriter work in progress demo, but the question is, when you're done with it, what would you like somebody to do with it, or what do you want to do with it? So you have to make sure that in the development that you're putting the right ingredients and the right elements in there in the right places.
Right, and then also your market too. For
Yes.
example, like Debbie's song, if older people were going to be hearing that could be scary. But if it's actually aimed towards, more of a family thing and children and stuff like that, it's great. And even just like one simple change instead of starting off with, seeing her on the floor, starting off with seeing her with her crayons, then on the floor, right? Yeah, see
Yeah.
Debbie's pointing at that. So, seeing her with her crayons on the floor, then you know right away we're talking about a child instead of seeing her on the floor. Oh my God, with her
Yep.
crayons. Oh, okay.
I
So
see
Yeah.
that
exactly what you mean. I'm changing it as we go right now. It
thanks.
definitely is making more sense. I was seeing a video and I saw this little girl laying on the floor, like on her stomach coloring. And I thought maybe the video might help, because, yeah, anyways, thank you for your insight. I appreciate it very much.
You
Sure,
want
no
to paint a
problem.
picture with the words, though. That's
Yeah.
Exactly.
number
Okay.
one.
Thank you.
Definitely.
Yes.
Yeah, and then also
Definitely
too,
paint a picture.
when somebody's listening to it on the radio or anywhere else, they won't have the luxury of having you tell them what it's all about first.
Exactly.
So that's a very
Okay.
important thing. Like
You
with
Okay. Thank
Shem's,
you again.
you
yeah,
wrote the song and they're
Hmm.
listening to it, but they didn't write it. You understand it more than they did. So you're
Right.
cutting through and they're listening so they can grasp it. And I guess,
Okay.
whether it happens or not, but you'd like them to get it on the first listen. And
Okay.
if they don't, then, you might have to fix things or change things or rearrange.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And Sham, same goes for you. That, like I said, that second verse was so powerful. I'd
Yeah.
move that right up front, and you'd
Yeah.
have everybody right by the throat from the start of that song, and just continue from there.
yeah.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
Mountain of Pills is quite an image. So,
Yes.
yeah, I really get that there. All right, Steve, what we got next?
next is Emmanuel Lawrence, and this
Okay,
is
Emmanuel, you
called
want to tell us about your song?
Brand New Day. It's called. Yeah.
Emmanuel's still muted. Emmanuel, you there?
There we go.
Okay.
I wrote this song about 30 days ago. It's an inspirational song. Uh, it's somewhere between a scratch track and a work in progress. I'm going to send at some point, especially after this input and feedback, I'll send it into production and send it back to the group so they can hear how it came out. And I'm interested in the how good the lyrics are and the commercial viability.
Okay, here we go.
Well, yesterday is over, yesterday is through, yesterday is done, now it's in your rear view. Now you got a nice clean slate, fresh with no mistake. You got a shiny new horizon, golden day horizon.
Oh,
Because
who's this?
it's a
Yeah, Dave, can I call you back a little bit? I'm on a Zoom call right now.
brand new day, brand new day. Fresh, sweet morning, you wanna get up, get going, wake up, rise and say, welcome, 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 brand new day, brand new day, brand new day. You can get through the morning, get through the afternoon, you can get through the evening, lit by the light of the moon. And nothing is too hard, and nothing is too tough, and nothing's gonna stop you. You'll decide when you're done enough. Because it's a brand new, brand new day. Fresh, sweet morning, gonna get up, get going, wake up and rise and say, welcome, welcome.
One other thing, too, guys. If you notice that you are not muted when somebody's music is playing, please mute yourself. I'm trying to get Steve to mute, but I guess he didn't see the note. The reason why is because I think that created this audio issue that we just had. Because I heard a little bit background noise, and whenever anybody gets background noise going on, then it also can cut the music.
Yeah.
So, Steve, if you can,
Distracts.
so Steve, if you can
Distracting a little.
mute Larambe and Debbie. Yeah, because what it does is it pulls the bandwidth down, so it sounds really bad. So, okay. So let's go ahead and get. Well, I guess Chuck, you're already up, so go ahead and.
All right. It's brand new day, and you say it's inspirational. Okay. Well, when you develop it to the next level, I know it's a scratch track, but the message should be both inspirational and powerful, which means in the development there, the lyrics are very important. They've got to cut through. Everything has to cut through to the listener. And I think in this case, I know it's scratch tracks, but lyrics, the ingredients, the elements, the vocals, the music, all have to be part of that. That has to cut through and deliver the message. In your case, the song is an inspirational song. Well, it needs to be that, which means it needs to have a powerful message that comes across. That's what it needs.
Thanks.
Darryl going to say something? No? Okay.
All right.
Colonel's
any more
still muted.
comments?
Yeah. Darryl, you have anything you wanted to say, or
What
he's still
happened?
muted? Steve, maybe you have to unmute him. There you go.
Can you hear me?
Now we can hear you.
All right. So I was having trouble hearing it because there was a lot of stuttering in the music going on through the whole thing. So my opinion is if you're going to have just a simple keyboard and fake drum, which to any musician or producers, it's you're not going to give a serious listen in most cases, but you have to make it up with the emotion and the voice. You have to make it up with the message that you're sending out in the vocals. So I felt that was a little weak. Really need some work on that. And if there's any way possible, get rid of those cheap electronic drums and keyboard and put a little more into it as far as patches and things like that, so you can fill it out. Counter melody, all that kind of thing is important in a demo. That's it for me.
And one other thing there. The message, like I said, should be both inspirational and powerful. And it has to be emotional all the way, meaning in the musical arrangement, the selection of the instruments, because if it's inspirational and you're giving that message, boy, you really got to put it out there. And so it comes across that way, which means the arrangement, the instrumentation, the selection there, and the way you get it produced is very important because it's got to cut through. And again, you want it to cut through when somebody hears it the first time, they know what's going on. You want them to like it the first time. It's not always the case. Sometimes it takes people 2 or 3 times, but they like something about it. But your song definitely needs to be developed to the next level to get the results you're looking for.
Okay, great. Thanks. I appreciate the feedback.
Yeah, one of the other things too is, Emmanuel's been with us for a really long time, and he's a great writer. And his vocals are actually very good. Unfortunately, you were having some issues with the audio today. But one of the things that keeps coming up whenever I hear your stuff, Manuel, is that the verse and the chorus quite often sound exactly the same. I know a lot of it has to do with the way that you're doing the demos, because you're doing them all by yourself and everything else. So
right.
having a little bit of help with that, that's what this is all about. Especially these days, collaboration is important. So finding somebody that can help you with the arrangements a little bit, so that you can tell where the verse and the chorus are, because your voice is incredible, and you can do some
Thanks.
great stuff with that. So that's one of the things that would really help. Then that way you can take a demo like that that's a little bit better, and then someone like Colonel or Chuck will be able to identify exactly what it's about and make it happen. So that's my take on that.
You need a good team or the right kind of team to put the magic to it to make it happen for you. You wrote
Okay, great. Well, thanks a lot. I appreciate the feedback.
All right. Okay, who's up
Okay.
next?
Cameron DeVries is up next. This is called Born in No Country.
Let him tell us about the song a little bit.
Okay. I wrote it with my co-writer Ty. It's a finished song at this point. This is the first version. It's just a kind of a rough, not a super rough, but pretty rough demo. We made this so he could bring it to Durango, and he just got selected for a showcase at Durango this week. So he's pretty excited. But not I don't think with this song, but yeah. So that's pretty much it.
Okay. Bring up the level, Steve.
Today I was alone with my worries, couldn't put my mind together. Every movement caused me so much pain, I couldn't find an ounce of pleasure. I was solitary like the sun. I wonder, am I the only one who feels like there's nowhere they belong? Sometimes it feels like I was born in no country, never had a name. Like I was tossed into this crazy world, no rhyme or reason to regain. And there's a part of me with no direction, part of me that walks alone. I think we're all just wandering through this world, trying to walk ourselves back home. So I went to the only place I knew. I sat down at the piano key. Had to keep my mind focused on something, tried to find a little moment of peace. There was a song I heard from a friend up the coast who brought some comfort to my mind. So I played it on piano and I sang out every line. Sometimes it feels like I was born in no country and never had a name. Like I was tossed into this crazy world, no rhyme or reason to the game. And there's a part of me with no direction, part of me that walks alone. I think we're all just wandering through this world, trying to walk ourselves back home. So I struck a light, moved through the sky, and it dawned on me that I was that light. Just a traveler moving around on my own, stretching out into the empty night. I make footsteps in the open air that kiss the broken wound and heal it with tender love, as gentle as the autumn moon. Sometimes it feels like I was born in no country and never had a name. Like I was tossed into this crazy world, no rhyme or reason to the game. And there's a part of me with no direction, part of me that walks alone. I think we're all just wandering through this world, trying to walk ourselves back home. Born in no country.
Why is the song stopping? Where they end?
We usually give it a couple of verses and a couple of choruses,
Yeah.
which is what we did.
That's right.
There's a lot of people that have songs tonight. I like that you got a demo singer on it. I had trouble figuring out if it was a female empowerment song or if it was a female that felt like a victim song. Especially your chorus. It starts off as an empowerment, but the last sentence of the chorus kind of turns that around. So if it's a female empowerment song, I liked her voice in the verse. She went up so high in the chorus that I couldn't feel the empowerment. So it kind of depends on what you're looking for in the song. If it's an empowerment song, then there should be force in that chorus vocal. And I just had a little problem with her going up and just kind of not being projecting on that. Chuck, your turn.
Oh, here we go with John. Okay. A question I have for you. Born in no country. Can you tell me what you mean by no country and why I ask that? Because even in the song and the chorus, it gives me the impression you don't know where you are. Did I interpret that correctly?
Oh, it basically means kind of like when they talk about being in the world but not of the world, kind of like you're a traveler passing through and there's realizing that this body doesn't feel like you, that kind of thing. It's from a Robert Bly poem. We just got permission from his wife Ruth to use the line in the song.
Okay. I was just curious on there. I mean, interesting lyrics in there. I just was trying to kind of interpret the whole chorus because I got the impression you didn't know where you are. I like the vocals in that, but I was just, when you said no country, I was trying to relate the whole song uh, to that no country, what the interpretation was. And Darryl has a good point about the empowerment, if that's what it's supposed to be. But I was just curious on that.
Yeah, no, I get it completely. That's the way that I felt that way a lot of times because I went to a different high school than my junior high school friends, and I didn't quite belong in either place. And a lot of my
Yeah.
Japanese American friends too, they go to Japan and they're not really Japanese enough, but then they come here and they look Japanese. So it's kind of a weird thing, and being without a country is a very powerful thing. One thing I was going to ask you in specific there, Cameron, what drum program are you using for that? Because that's definitely not a real drummer.
No.
We hired a guy in Norway who made the demo, so real cheap. Like he was like $100, $150.
Well,
I don't know what he used.
yeah, because he's definitely not. That's not real drums, and the Colonel is a drummer, so he knows exactly what I'm
Yeah,
talking about there.
I could tell that too.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks, Steve. What you got next?
Next, we've got La Rambe, and this is called Healing.
Rambe, going to say anything about it?
Yeah, this is a pre-released track from our album a few years ago. I thought it might be appropriate for this event. Hope you enjoy it.
Yeah. Is there a doctor in the house? We need a healing. Yeah, yeah. Don't know where we are, but we've gone way too far. The biggest bandage can't cover up the scars that we've inflicted on our hearts. Oh no. Tell me, how did it ever come to this? There's just too much internal damage. We've both been poisoned by the past. So I ask, do we need a healing? Yeah, to rid ourselves of all unhealthy feelings. Yeah, let's sew up the wounds and stop the bleeding and keep this love alive. One more time, we need a healing. Yes, we do, to rid ourselves of all unhealthy feelings. Yeah, let's sew up the wounds and stop the bleeding, so this love can survive. Oh yeah. Seems we're suffering from ailments unknown. Resentment infected our brittle bones. That's why our love can't stand on its own. That's why I say we need a healing. We need a healing to rid ourselves of all unhealthy feelings. Let's sew up the wound and stop
Right.
Pretty nice arrangement there.
Go ahead, Darryl.
Yeah, pretty nice arrangement. I like the chorus a lot. Chorus is really good. I could see that in pretty much any church on a Sunday type of a thing. Very powerful. I'd put a little more description in the verses, though. I mean, you get all the way to the end of the bridge before you mention spite. If that's all that is, then go ahead and put some examples in verse 1 and 2. If it's other things, you want to paint a picture of what damage is being done, or something that people can identify with, not necessarily feelings. The feelings are in the chorus, and the chorus is really good.
Yeah. Well, my thoughts, the chorus is a good chorus. My opinion, I think the chorus needs to be remixed. The blend on the backgrounds there need to blend better to complement the vocals. It kind of it's in the mix. That's all, because I like the chorus and I like the backgrounds on there, and and I can understand your message about healing. I know you pre-released it, but I think you can do a better mix on the chorus to blend the backgrounds or the harmonies in there, so they really complement the vocals without taking away or destroying them. And that was my only comment on that.
Take the side stick down a little bit. Yeah, the side stick or the snare hit is a little too heavy, especially in the verse.
Yeah.
A little tricky because, again, we're listening to it MP3s over the internet, so sonic quality is always iffy.
Yeah. That's the thing, sometimes MP3s are really compressed. And I'm sure if I heard that where it was taken from the WAV file, it'd be a whole lot different. It's not compressed so much. And we when people send us material, I don't like to get it on the internet as MP3, because I wouldn't send an MP3 to radio or a record company executive or somebody there. I'd want to hear it in the form that it came off of the master recording, the WAV file, and put on where you can listen to it and hear it without being compressed. I could tell on that it was compressed.
Yes. Well, I sure appreciate all your comments greatly. Thank you very much.
Sure. And one other thing for me, I love this song because you've played it before for us at SongNet.
Nice song.
And one of the things that I think we should break into this right now is that particular song can be done in a wide variety of genres and still sound good.
Oh yeah.
I could hear it as a country song, new country, of course, but new country. What do you think, Darryl? That could work as new country, right?
Well, you could. I mean, obviously it was done, or I took it as a gospel song just because of the way it was arranged. But yeah, you could certainly change it around.
Yeah, just add a pedal steel in there, and
be a good blues song too.
Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes instrumentation or musical arrangements using instrumentation can really add a lot of flavor to a song and bring you into the song. And I can hear that. I can hear things that are there that are not there because of the format it's in, but I can hear that. I know what it should sound like and what it should be like if you could hear it, and you could actually, if you climbed into the song and said, well, what does it need? And you can look at everything from the inside instead of from the outside and listening to it. But I could tell that was very compressed.
Yeah. So anyway, that was one of the things. And Colonel Darryl had sent a track here, and we're going to be talking about placement a little bit too. I know a lot of you guys are interested in getting placements or what that's all about. So, Steve, you got Darryl's track up?
Yeah. Well, let me talk a little bit about it while we're doing that.
Right.
I said before, I work with Lao Hollywood Productions. They're a film production company. They put out martial arts movies of all things, but I help them work with their sound and make the sound better, clearer, more understandable, that type of thing. And I was approached and asked to do a song. They have a movie coming out early next year called The Bodyguards. It has a scene in the beginning where they're in speedboats racing around. And he asked me for a song that sounded like Miami Vice, but not be Miami Vice. So it took me a while to come up with this. And I bring this song to you because to get your songs placed in music is not just sending them to song placers and things like that. If you want a good chance, if you could make yourself available to do things for people as a favor or, tit for tat, you would stand more of a chance of them doing something with your music if you have that opportunity. If you're a producer, if you are a recording engineer, that kind of thing, or if you have some connections. It's just an example of taking a song. Somebody just mentioned the Miami Vice, came up with Miami Vice. Now the song is going to be in the opening sequence, so I'm pretty happy about that. But see if you can tell that it was based on Miami Vice. It's called Wavin' High.
Out on the ocean, flying high above the waves. They rock my speedboats, people hope they don't misbehave. Find your feet, hang on tight, feel the wind sky. This is not for tenderfoots, out here waving high. It's roll the surface pounding, go with the flow, enjoy the ride. Watch the beats, I throw a chalk, cause watch your body slide. Keep calm and speedboat on, out here waving high.
So one of the things I did in the song, just to give anybody inspiration, you can tell there's definitely separate feels in different parts of the song. So you can actually, for movie production especially, you can take the pick of which section you'd like. You can see I had the steel drums in one section. I had like two melodies kind of competing with each other, one going a descending melody and then another counter melody at the same time going on. And then I had the chorus basically where people are just repeating the same line over and over with the steel drums again. And they're all pretty much separate. And you can use 30-second clips, 15-second clips, whatever you want. Because when you're looking at movie soundtracks, you want them to have a plethora of choices in the song. So just something to think of. And also, if somebody mentions their movie is about this or that or the other thing, take it as a challenge. And it's really good to kind of take a challenge and try to do something. Hopefully you could feel the Miami Vice vibes in there, but you don't want it too close to the original.
Yeah, something I wanted to add to that. Darryl brought up a good point. You just can't send music to someone and say, hey, I got this song. I think it can fit. You need to do your research and your homework. But Darryl has a good point. The song he played there, it has the groove and the vibes, and it's similar to something, but it's not the same. But they can cut it. That's the beauty of it for trailers, clips, scenes, and they can use the whole thing. And if you're sending something to a music supervisor or a sync licensing agent, or it goes down the assembly line there, a lot of times they want to hear the whole thing because then they can see what they want and what they can use out of that. If the whole premise, like on Darryl's song there, it had the groove. And yeah, it could fit that. They can cut it, they can dissect it, they can do whatever they want, or they can use the whole song in a soundtrack.
Yeah, that's
Well, it
exactly
probably gives that inspiration to people that, you know, don't be afraid to try to connect with film production companies, that kind of thing. Try to get some connections. If you have services you can offer, it will help you to get in. Songs that I produce, I'm able to get into movies and films because I help them with their post-production, because I record some of their sound, because I clean up their sound. And now they're asking me to write specific types of music. So just want to challenge everybody to kind of push themselves to do that kind of a thing.
exactly. And one of the things that I always tell everybody at our events is that, we're in LA, so there's independent filmmakers just like we're independent musicians. And again, one of the stories that I always tell everybody is I went to an AFI event, American Film Institute event, here in the LA area. Everybody's talking about their films, and then I just kind of raised my hand. Well, I'm actually a songwriter, and all of a sudden everybody came in, and I was literally the rock star in the room because I was the only one doing music. Everyone else is talking about their films.
Yeah.
And I wound up with 5 film gigs from that. So you never know. Things can happen. You just got to be in the right place at the right time, and that's the biggest part of it. Okay, so who do we got next there, Steve?
Next I have Gia Lev, and this is called Broken Pieces.
Broken Pieces, okay.
And Gia, you want to talk about it real quick?
Well, it's LeVay, and
Sorry.
it's okay, Stephen, we'll get it right one day. It was a song that I co-wrote with a British producer, and he's worked with some people back there. But anyway, we were trying to move it toward a Norah Jones sound, which is somewhat appropriate for my voice. And I'm releasing it next week. That's the reason I threw it in.
Okay.
I've seen the storms across the ocean, and sitting here I'm at peace because of you. I'm whole, not broken. You brought the sunshine back to me. Broken in many pieces, like a puzzle waits to be figured out. You came and put me back together. I felt lost, but now I'm found. As we walk the country back road, where there's no one else around, wrap your loving arms around me.
first time I saw you. The light was fading in the sky. You burned bright above the faces. Suddenly something stirred inside, told me you'd be mine tonight. I was broken in many pieces, like a puzzle waits to be figured out. But you came, you put me back together. I felt lost, but now I'm found.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I'm going to speak. Okay.
Go ahead, Jim.
Well, it's, it's a very nice song. I really like the intro. It's very peaceful, very smooth. The song overall, very pleasant, clean, simple, soft, but very effective and catchy. And that kind of song there could work very well in a TV show, a film, a commercial, a video, an advertisement, but you did a good job on that.
Thank you, Chuck. Appreciate that.
Yeah, pretty good arrangement. Almost sounded like real drums. It's close, not bad.
Almost.
What I liked about it, the first line of the first verse, you paint a nice picture. You're there, you're watching the storms over the ocean. Then you talk about feelings. Your chorus is about feelings. Verse 2 is all about painting a picture, nice picture. So you've got some real nice things going on to where people can relate to exactly what you're talking about, and then they know what you're feeling also. So it was a nice balance in there.
Yeah. It was one other thing. It was very easy to relate to. And it was kind of catchy there. It was very simple, but you know what? It was nice. It was pleasant. And you told the story there, and it can be used for a lot of things.
Maybe it'll find a home somewhere.
Ah,
Thank you.
I was going to say, you know what? Did you do a lyric video for that?
I actually did, and it will release after I get this out on across the platforms, and then I typically wait a couple of weeks and then put the music video. But I did do one. This one I didn't appear in. This one is really just more of a stock image.
But you know what? A video would help you to promote that song, and that song would make the video, provided the video fit your song and the lyrics, which are really good lyrics, but a video would be very effective. And nowadays, song lyric videos are great. In fact, Darryl does a lot of those lately, and they come across really nice.
Yeah, just say if anybody does lyric videos, I would limit your amount of still photos. Moving video is always better if you can do it. There are some video sites out there that aren't that expensive where you can get some nice stock video if you don't have the ability to shoot it yourself. But moving video usually is a little more powerful than just stock images, coming and going and movement, that kind of thing.
Yeah, it was actually stock video. This time I actually didn't want to spend a lot of money on the production of it. I've got an editor that I use out of Colombia, and he's done about 6 or 7 of mine. And I actually knocked it off of Taylor Swift. Her stuff is actually really simple,
Yes.
And one of hers was so effective, but it wasn't expensive to replicate, with my own twist on it. So that's what I've done with Broken Pieces. Yeah.
Great.
You can do a simple video with that, and you did it came across simple. Yeah, it kind of made me think of Taylor Swift because hers
Yeah.
are simple, but yours was effective. And
Yeah.
the arrangement was nice, and it had a nice feel to it, a groove.
Yeah, cool. Like a groove. Super. Appreciate your ear on it, both of you, Darryl and Chuck. Colonel Darryl, sorry.
That's okay.
Don't forget Jimmy.
Yeah,
Oh, of course, Jimmy. Jimmy and Steve. I got another pair over there.
You know, even though it's a finished product, generally when it's a finished product, I don't want to say anything about it. But in the chorus, you do have that one little spot that bugs me a little bit, and that's
What's that?
the word stuffing where you talk about the puzzle pieces and stuff fitting together. When you're looking at the cadence of the lyric, it doesn't follow the cadence because you got to rephrase it. So it's just a little bit of a bump there, but it's not bad. But that's something to think about whenever you're writing something: is how does the cadence of the lyric fit? And even though you did change it a little bit, for the final recording, it's not the same as what was shown here on the screen.
Yeah.
But it's still not quite even cadence, in that one spot. It's that one spot. So.
Well, I'm a little naughty about that, about getting on. I tend to float a little bit, I don't want to take up time, but I've been doing these American standards, and I recorded something that's more contemporary, and the guy came back and he says, "What are you doing?" Because I wasn't on the beat. So it might be what you're talking about.
Exactly. Yeah.
I detected one thing there. In 3 spots, you changed the words.
Yeah.
In 3 spots of the song.
Oh, you mean to what was written? Yeah, I know recall and remember, and the recall was because there was an inner rhyme within the line, and we thought it sounded a little better. But it might be what Jimmy's talking about in terms of kind of stretching it out.
Yeah, two syllables instead of 3, so it follows.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, I was looking and watching, just so you know.
Boy, nothing goes by you.
All right, Steve, who do we got?
Okay, yeah, we got 7 more to go. Okay, so next up we have Kennedy York, and this is called Anna's song, Bread in My Hand.
Say something about it, Kennedy?
Oh, hey, Jimmy. This song was written about, remember Anna Tudor, Jimmy, the songwriter? So she was going through a hard time a few years ago. Her sons were leaving for college, and she was really, really down. And she was having to move out of the apartment she shared with her 2 sons. And so to cheer her up, I wrote this song for her. And essentially, it's about it's through her eyes. So the words are written through her point of view, through Anna's point of view. So as crazy as it is, but it's just kind of it is what it is. As far as where I'm marketing it, you know what? That's such 50, 60, 70 years ago. We just wrote songs. I don't know where I'm marketing it, to tell you the truth, you guys. I just write, and if it reaches 1 million people, God bless it. If it doesn't, God bless it. So that's where I'm at.
Okay.
Took a 2-room apartment, some misunderstanding. Whole lot of dreams to keep the program as planned. 25-inch TV set, minor controlling. Love is motivation, the bread in my hand. Broke a lifelong commitment due to some condescending. Living on the runway made it easy to land. Go with me again, and a simple living. You is motivation, put the bread in my hand. Looking through a helpless situation, speaking from an average point of view. In need of healthy inspiration, me myself, and I folly I do. It's me without the blonde again, feeling mighty special, digging through the pots and pans and a few one-night stands. Lord knows the ghosts in here are too sentimental, and a whole lot of nothing kept the bread in my hand. Looking through a helpless situation, speaking from an average point of view, in need of healthy inspiration, me, myself, and I folly I do. Two-room apartment, some misunderstanding, whole lot of dreams to keep the program as planned. 25-inch TV set, minor controlling, you as motivation, put the bread in my hand. It put the bread in my hand. It kept the bread in my hand. Bread in my hand.
It's interesting. If you didn't say what the song was about, you'd have a little trouble understanding what's about, because you only mentioned the minors once, or did you repeat it for the third verse? So I put a little more examples of what's going on, what's causing all the problems. In the chorus, your background vocals are bearing the vocal. Obviously, it needs a good remix, especially on the vocals. You want to bring one out a little further the lead and then have the others behind it. You're kind of bearing the lead there. That's just all producer stuff. It's a nice thought on a song. It's a nice melody. But yeah, it's a nice little song.
Okay. You pointed out that it was through Anna's point of view. I could tell that. And you made another comment about satisfying yourself first, which is good. You should. And you weren't thinking of, well, the whole world, if something good happens in that. But Darryl, I was going to reiterate on his point in the chorus. You need to remix that chorus because the backgrounds, they sound muffled and they're stepping on the vocals. The song was interesting. I listened to some other songs you had that were not so quite as personal coming through her eyes because, like Darryl said, you're trying to figure out it's her point of view and from her standpoint and what she's seeing, but you want other people to share that. But I think you might have in your bag of songs, you might have something that would work, that would be more that people could relate to easily, more easily.
Thank you. In the beginning, I said, I don't know what I want. I know what I want. I need Darryl and Chuck to produce a song.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. You know what? What we do is we climb inside the song and look at all the parts, like going into a watch and seeing what's there and what isn't there, what needs to be fixed, and then develop it in phases. And Darryl checks it all the time along the way. And he'll ask me, he'll say, well, what do you think? And I'll give him my feedback on it. But I know that I'm sure you got some songs in there that people can relate to more. But even with that song, you can take a song, and of course, I look at it this way. You created it, you're a songwriter. Uh, the key is to develop it to the next level where it fits people's criteria. Maybe it fits our standards, or maybe it fits industry standards. But in this day and age, you gotta take the time. I was once told, I'll share this with you. A friend of mine named George Massenburg, he produced Earth, Wind, and Fire and Weather Report, and he did Dolly Parton and Linda Ronstadt and Emmylou Harris's uh, uh, trio that had After the Gold Rush. He did a beautiful version. But he always told me, he says, Chuck, when you're mixing a song and you're developing it, he says, I don't care how long it takes. You work on it until it sounds like a record. If it doesn't sound like a record, it's not going to happen if that's what you're trying to do and get people interested. He was very successful. And those were good words of advice that I kept. The same thing in your case is you take that and you take all the pieces out and you put them back in there and you make them work like a watch. But you got to go inside and see what's there and what's missing, what it needs, and figure it out and produce it. And no song was ever meant to be perfect, but you can sure make a really great sounding song that you never know who's going to like it and how many people are going to like it. But if you're going to put something out there for the world to see, make sure you put something out there that in your mind, you want people to love it. But you can't just put something out there or say, well, I wrote this song because, I said this many years ago when I was doing some seminars. I said, one day, the day of the demo is going to be gone. And when people send us music to review, and we review it very carefully, but I'll ask them, I'll say, what is it you're looking for? What do you want us to do? What do you want to see happen? And they'll tell me. And I'll say, well, you know what? With what you have there, in most cases, what we get a lot of is what we call a raw songwriter work demo in progress. And you know what? It doesn't cut it. If you want to go further, then you have to be serious enough to say, hey, I like this. And whether it's successful or not, do it for yourself and leave your legacy. If you think that way and not look for, wow, I'm going to be rich and famous, but you do it and it comes out great and it's your legacy for your friends or your family, that's a great tribute. That's how I look at things.
Brilliantly said. Brilliantly said.
So if the song is about kids acting up, then write about what they're doing. If it's about the kids leaving home, then write about remembering what the kids did and feelings about the kids leaving home. You don't really have that in there. That's where I would start.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Think Beck. That's what that's what I want. That's what I want to do. Beck. Remember Beck? I think I'm like a Beck. I'm all over the place and I do it all myself. But I know what you're saying, Chuck. It's got to be professional.
You got to do what's right for the song, and that's what you have to do. By the way, you look like Elon Musk. I'm just kidding. But yeah, you if you're going to develop a song, you need a team to help you do that.
Amen.
One of the nicest things when songs get done and they're done right. You know what I hear a lot from songwriters? Did I write that song? Wow. And they did write it because they're the ones that created it. And they put together the team and they developed it to where it made sense and it was something that they were really proud of. And that's the same thing that can happen with you. You know that. I could tell by your remarks there. And that's what needs to happen. It needs to go to the next level to get to where it's something that, hey, wow, it's just so hot in your hand that you want the world to hear it.
You
And
guys are brilliant. You guys are brilliant. I mean, this is what I need to hear.
and believe it or not, you never know. You know, I've always said I could have 100 people in the room from record companies, and 99 of them can say, I don't like that. And one person comes over and says, hey, I love that. I want your song. I want to put it in a movie. Then who cares about the other, what the other?
Amen.
That's
Amen.
what it's about.
And I'm that 1%.
And
I
that
really,
1%.
I really like that very, very much, especially knowing Anna. And I think, I had to look up what folie à deux means. It's like, what the hell is folie à deux?
It's like
That's
shared
not
madness.
exactly,
Yeah.
and that fits Anna perfectly, actually.
You notice without the blonde, you remember her band without
Exactly,
her?
yeah, all that. I mean, you nailed it for all that stuff. And like with Beck too, you're getting that kind of lo-fi, grungy sort of a thing, and I like that too because it's very real, very honest. So if you had like a music video with Anna in it, man, that would just kill. It'd be great because she has that kind of a look, and not that it's a bad look, but she does look a little bit disheveled quite often, and that's part of the whole thing. And Flair,
Actually, a good idea, Jimmy.
yeah, I mean
Yeah.
that works so perfectly. So
I got to tell you what made my day. The other day, I got this Facebook thing from Deborah Harry. She said, happy birthday, Chuck. Your birthday's coming up. That made my day. She was in that group, Blondie. She's turning 80, but to get that from her, she says, I'm her #1 fan, and she's sending me a fan badge.
Just the fact that you know Deborah Harry, Chuck. I mean, and I'm talking to you. It's crazy life.
Okay, guys, we
Supposed to have coffee with me one of these days.
okay, let's keep moving forward here real quick.
Next up is Dave Clausen. This song is called Long Hard Road.
All right, Dave, tell us about it.
It's a demo. Everything else I know you'll figure out.
Okay.
These shoes ain't fit for walking. Lord knows I need to go. They're too tongue-tied for talking, and the soles are running low. You know they never fit right. They're way too small. They slow me down and turn my flight into a painful crawl. It's gonna be a long, hard road, carrying this heavy load, watching everything erode. It's a long, hard road. My car is broken down with many miles to go. It makes it hard to get around when it just might need a tow. I never know when it will start, if it will get me there without falling apart, and there's no parts left to spare. It's gonna be a long, hard road, carrying this heavy load, watching it I was a hitchhiker, would you give me a ride? If I were in the pouring rain, would you bring me inside? If I were on my last leg, would you give me a hand? Or would you turn your back on my last stand? It's gonna be a long, hard road. Carrying this heavy load.
Hey, Dave, how you doing?
All right. Hey, Colonel.
Hey, it's a good Southern rock song, but I'll tell you what it doesn't have that most Southern rock songs do have, and that's a nice guitar riff going on that defines the song. So you got the melody. You either need a counter melody or you need a nice featured guitar riff, which is going to make that song. Also, I would rework the chorus a little bit. The third line, especially, you're not really going anywhere. You're just kind of coasting. Where this is your payoff, your resolution of being on the road. You really need to have that third line say something about that. And I'd cut that bridge in half also.
Okay, thanks.
My turn? Oh, okay. You know, I was kind of chuckling to myself. I says, is that called the shoe song or the car song or the hitchhiker song? No, I'm just kidding. You know, the melody, it's a good melody, but you need killer instrumentation, and in the chorus, the big payoff, and you make changes in the verses, which are really good. I think Darryl could take that song and make it a killer.
Oh, thank you, Chuck.
A good guitar riff would just bring that to another level.
Oh yeah, yeah, he can make it a killer. It just needs that magical instrumentation to take that and really build it to where it makes you look like a star.
Thank you.
Yeah, listen to Leonard Skinner kind of stuff. You know, that would help.
Yeah, a lot of possibilities in that song.
One thing I was going to ask you, Dave, is how come you put the bridge so far back instead of just putting it right after the second verse?
I don't know. I was messing around with arrangement, and I thought, well, I'll just throw in a guitar solo and see what happens.
Yeah, because it starts getting a little bit redundant. So if you put the bridge in there, like right after that second verse, instead of going to the chorus again, I think that would help quite a bit because it would keep it more interesting, and then you can do the other stuff later on. But that's just my opinion. But
Yeah, that's the way I would perform it live because I wouldn't as a solo.
Yeah, well, when you're doing open mics, just solos and stuff don't fly at all. So anyway,
You know something? Doing it live is a whole different world from doing it in the studio and recording it. You can take what you do in the studio to do it live, but you can't take what you do live and put it in the studio. It won't work.
Yeah, good point.
People have tried to do that, and it just doesn't work. But from the studio, make your performance better, but you can't take the performance and use it in the studio. It's a whole different world.
All right, thank you. Okay, who we got next there, Steve?
Kurt Allen. This is called Nobody Heard.
Okay, Kurt, you want to tell us about that?
Sure. So I've already put this song on Spotify, etc. So it's kind of out, but I'm open to remixing it and feedback on that. I've become, thanks to Jimmy, I've become a little bit interested in sync and placements and stuff like that. So this is like one of the songs I think that maybe fits that sort of thought best. And anyway, yeah, I'm just looking for any kind of feedback about how it is and how it can improve.
The when you're doing an arrangement, it's very important not to sound too similar to other things that have been done the same. That sounded like Wild Horses from the Rolling Stones to me. And even the vocals in the chorus were sounded very similar in the way they were sung. So you really kind of need to get away from that. And it's okay to rhyme. You know, if you're not going to rhyme, that's fine. But if you're not going to rhyme in the first half, then rhyme in the second half, or rhyme in the first half, but not the second half. I would just do it sparingly, because in modern songwriting, there's usually at least a near rhyme on some of that. So I'd work a little more on that. That would be my take on it. But it's just too close to Wild Horses that it really, that's what was in my mind from almost the beginning of that song.
Okay. It's Kurt, right?
Yep.
I was writing down your phone number. I didn't get the last part, but you know, I think that song could be made into a really good song if it were taken to the next level. The intro on yours was a bit too long for me, and Darryl made a point, but I'm going to add my thoughts. It's kind of like you'd think of Neil Young, and it comes across that way. But you know, we have songs in our catalog that could make you sound like $1 million that fit your style of vocals and fit the kind of thing that you're doing. But that song you need to take to the next level. But most important, you know, you need to make it sound like you and not somebody else. You don't need to do that. But I was thinking, I said, you know, it's kind of like if kind of something that Neil Young would do. But I know I was thinking while I was listening to you, I said, gee, you know what? Well, there's 3 songs we have that he could do that would, you know, really, he could really sing. Because sometimes we look for singers on the song. Some people need, when they're working on an album or they're writing songs, you know, it's really tough to come up with a full album where everybody's going to like everything on there. And a lot of times they'll put fillers in there, but they'll put things that people can relate to, but they fit the album and the songs in there. And I was thinking, it made me think of 3 songs that we have that you could do. But if you took that to the next level and did all the right treatments, properly produced, the arrangement, the instrumentation, you'd be surprised what it would do for you. And I was going to ask you a question. You have Spotify. Are you making any money on Spotify?
I've got 87 cents so far, so
Well,
yes.
why don't you
Good
have
for Spotify.
why don't you, is that all you have it on, is Spotify?
Oh no, it's through DistroKid on like everything, YouTube Music, Apple Music,
So you
Spotify.
got it on all of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nobody makes money on streaming, Chuck. Very few.
No. They can, but you got to have 100 online songs.
Mhm.
Spotify is good, but Spotify could be better. It depends who you went through to put your song up on Spotify. I don't think you put it up yourself. You had to go through somebody to do that.
Yeah.
Who did you go through?
It's a company called DistroKid.
Yeah, DistroKid is okay. There's a better one that does much better where you can make money on it. And that's TuneCore. TuneCore is far better than that. When they put something on Spotify, you make money. because they're the largest online distributor. Anyhow, that's what I wanted to say.
I'll look into it. If I can ask a question, what's like one or two things I could do to make it sound less like Neil Young or Rolling Stones? I'm not a huge
Well, I
fan of
think
Rolling Stones. I'm a little surprised at that feedback.
here's
But previously, I did hear it was like Dead Roses. So
I see you got all the equipment, okay, and you writing the songs and you're performing them. But you know what? It would be like you going into a studio and you're in the room and you're singing and playing, and there's a producer sitting in the other room. You can't be in the same room as the producer. In other words, if you're an artist songwriter and you're self-producing, well, what you need is a producer that again can take that and make the changes that are necessary, and with your input too, but with their input, and come up with something that's going to sound like you and not somebody else. But you can't be sitting in two rooms at once. You need to have the trust and the faith in somebody that's helping you to produce your song, and they're working everything there to do that, and you're doing your part. But I've seen people try to do both. For some reason, it very rarely is it really effective.
So to answer your question, I think a good counter melody, or the way you sing it, the way it's mixed in the chorus, especially because if you listen to Wild Horses, they've got the background vocals mixed at the same level as Mick Jagger's, which is kind of what you did. So just change it up a little bit, bring your vocal out a little bit more, and then maybe a little more lows in there instead of very mid-rangey. But there's things you could do that will bring it away from there. And now that you know that it sounds like other songs, you're more aware of it. And I would just take that and try to come up with a nice counter melody that would offset what you're doing, so you're not listening to just the melody. You have other things going on.
Yeah, I know you listen to other people, but something you might try. You got the equipment to do that. There's a term we used to use called panicaking to get more of a dynamic sound in the studio, as if you were making records. And what we would do is take the vocal and do another vocal and another one and put all three on top of one another to really give it a really super flavor. You might try that just for fun to see if you can do that and how it works for you, because it really can really give that dynamic feel to somebody's vocal, as if you were the greatest singer in the world, and you wouldn't know the difference, that it was pancaked.
Do another vocal, maybe an octave lower, and kind of mix it in there just for flavor. Yeah.
Yeah, that would work. It'd give it more flavor and a big dynamic spread.
Brilliant. Thanks so much.
One other thing too is when Colonel Darryl put up his thing, sounded like Miami Vice. That's exactly what we're talking about, where this could be used as a sound-alike, and especially without the vocal. If there's a call for something that sounds like The Wait, or sounds like Wild Horses, you say, "Oh, I've got that here," and you're all set to go with that. So that is something that you might want to be able to keep as a track, clean it up a little bit, because I heard a lot of not so great notes in there in a few places. But other than that, yeah, that is something that you can consider, and then rewrite the song a little bit differently with different arrangements, so that you have that song, but you also have this thing that you've worked on that sounds like. And that is something that's very helpful when you're doing film and TV.
Not so great notes vocal-wise?
Not vocal-wise. No, I heard like some weird glitches on some of the other parts.
Yeah. Okay.
Drum lines were a little bit off in some places. And
drums?
Yeah.
The end of the chorus, there's an issue with the end of the chorus.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll check it.
Another thing too, Jimmy's point, well taken, on sound-alikes. There are people that use that And TV shows, especially the soaps that are on the networks, what they do is they do synchronization to other countries, and they save a lot of money by not using a major singer and paying a lot of money. They'd rather have somebody that sounds alike, and they do it for a lot less. But that's good for somebody that's unknown or trying to get in there and make money. And yeah, they'll take that and they call that replacement music. And so they'll use it on a show, the same song, but they'll take a sound alike. And there are people that use that and look for that because it saves them a lot of money. They don't have to pay the record company a lot of money because they're using some big name.
Yeah, I'll look into it. That sounds interesting.
Okay, yeah, next up we have Stephanie Roberts. After that, Dan Marcus, Violet Whimsy, and myself. So let's bring up Stephanie. This is called Stolen.
Hi. So just a little bit about this. The song was a film producer had approached me about recording this song. He's familiar with my catalog and wanted to use it for a scene in this film where a couple is waking up kind of the morning after they're starting to fall in love. And I had a song kind of along those lines already. It did not get placed. It didn't get recorded in time. But basically just kept it really simple, straightforward. Love song. Tried not to overthink it too much because I tend to do that as a lot of songwriters do. So yeah.
Know that feeling you get in the pit of your stomach, like you're gonna be sick, and you can't shake it. No, you can't shake it. Tell all your friends that your heart's been stolen. After its recovery from just being broken, you try to say the words that have never been spoken. You tell me that it's my fault. And those butterflies are a warning sign. I try my best, but you're still on my mind. Tell all your friends that your heart's been stolen. After its recovery from just being broken, you try to say the words that have never been spoken. You tell me that it's my fault. You called, I can't breathe, it's your fault. If I'm all that you need, can we talk? Tell all your friends that your heart's been stolen.
Hey, Stephanie.
Hello.
I would take out the word it's in the second line of the chorus and the word you in the third line. I think it would flow a little better. And the vocal was a little shaky in the chorus, but other than that, I thought it was real nice. You had a nice counter melody going on with the string pads and stuff. Overall, I think it's a really nice song, especially for like a CW type of a, you know, rom-com type of a thing, or dramatic teenager angst type of a show. I think it's that would be a real good placement for it. But just the flow in the chorus is where I had the problem, and I think if you took out those two words, it would just improve it dramatically.
Okay.
Chuck?
Nope, I'm here. Well, I didn't see me on there. The vocals are good, but in the beginning, my first thoughts were, I believe you could sing it better. Then when you got to the third or fourth set of verses, your singing came across stronger. It got better. I think it had the melody was nice, had a nice simple flavor. It's a nice song. The song, I take it, it's about breaking up with someone. Is that correct?
No, kind of the opposite. It was first getting to know somebody and falling for them, and
Oh, okay, all right. And I was going to ask, did I hear right that you used violins in there?
yeah.
Okay, they could have, maybe, you know what? It just needs, I think, a little remixing. And Darryl's right, a few words there, and but it's a nice song, and it had a nice flavor to it, and I think you have good vocals, and but for some reason in the beginning, your vocals got better. I don't know why, but I noticed that in the beginning. I said, I know she can sing that better. Maybe if the song was at the point where everything was in there and she came back to re-sing it, you'd sing it a lot better. That's what I think, but it got better. You were singing good after you got into the song. I don't know why at the beginning, it just made me think that you could sing it better with even more feeling than what you had. It's my thoughts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I liked it a lot, and
I like
I kind of understand what Chuck's talking about there. However, also knowing the context is perfect because that adds that drama. Where you said just waking up next to somebody that you've just hooked up with, you didn't even know, and all of a sudden it's like, wow, what's going on here, and so that uncertainty in the vocal makes a lot of sense for that part of it. So
yeah.
And then just like Darryl said, yeah, those two little things that knocks the cadence out.
Yeah.
Once you get rid of those, and the cadence is back, and it flows a lot smoother. So yeah, I like that quite a bit. Very, very nice. Steve, did you find Denise's?
I did. I inadvertently skipped her. I was doing these in the order I received them, and somehow.
Thank you guys for your feedback.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Stephanie. Yeah.
Well, Stephanie,
so
where are you
anyway.
at?
What's that?
Where are you located?
LA.
Okay, yeah, because I
I'm
haven't
actually
seen
in Woodland Hills. It was funny you said that, Colonel.
Yeah.
Woodland Hills.
Got a studio there for 20 years.
Yeah, I was curious about that, but no,
Yeah,
no
'cause,
time to get into that. So
Yeah, I've never seen you over at Kulak's, so that's what
yeah, I came to the SongNet song showcase once, but
yeah,
I'd like to come to Kulak's as well.
got to come to Kulak's, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Should.
We got we have Denise and then Dan Marcus, Violet, and myself. So here's Denise Dimon. I'm not pronouncing it right, probably, but Denise, go ahead.
Hi, so I'm a songwriter. I'm not a singer or performer. That's not my song. Mine is I'll Look Behind. Um,
Yes.
so, sorry.
There we go. There we go.
Sure. So
Wrong Word file.
There we go. I've collaborated 3 times with a singer. We have 3 albums out. This is a release song. It's actually on a released album that is in the Grammy first level. They've been accepted under the traditional pop vocal album jazz field. So, and we've also been talking to music supervisors and libraries and things like that. So, but I'm interested just to see what you think about it. I love all your insights for everybody else. If you have any thoughts as like who it sounds like, it reminds you of that kind of stuff, because that's when we pitch it. That's what everybody always wants to hear.
Just a thought of watching you cry makes it hard for me to think of a way to say goodbye. We've both tried to think of alternatives, but we've nothing more to lose. What's the use? We're just wasting time. And though I'll never be sure, maybe a week from now, a year, I'll change my mind. I'll look behind. I'll look behind. I can think of any more stories to tell, and it seems that I've heard all yours, and a forced smile won't do. We both know our end will be here soon, so we're guiltily search our minds and ask why, and can't find a clue. And though I'll never be sure, maybe a week from now, a year, I'll change my mind. I'll look behind. Hanging on to apologies and excuses, with this cover that words are just a shield for how we really we never look each other in the eye, watching our feet as we walk. There's no talk, just alibis. A red light that will never turn to green. Subtle hints lead to final blow. Time to go. Time to say goodbye. And though I'll never be sure, maybe a week from now, a year, I'll change my mind. I'll look behind. I'll look behind.
Well, too bad there's no 007 movies anymore. It sounds like a 007
Eh,
theme. It's really nice.
The Look of Love.
It's a lot.
I love the horns in there. I love the counter melodies. That's all real nice. I don't want to say too much since it's a release song. I thought the bridge should have been a little different. It sounded like an extension of the chorus, but maybe even the chorus should take a little different direction, only because it doesn't feel like a different part of the song. It feels like it's a continuation. The verse, I mean, if it ever gets used, they're going to use that nice solo going into verse 3. That was real nice there. I like that a lot. Go ahead, Chuck.
Okay. Did you say that song you co-wrote that correctly?
I wrote it.
Oh, you wrote it. Okay. The person that sang it, you said it made the first round of the Grammy nominations?
We've been accepted into, yes. So
First round. And it didn't go past the first round.
it hasn't gone for October 4th is the last of the submissions, and then the voting for the next couple of weeks.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right. I have to vote. Yeah. But they didn't bounce it after the first round, did they?
It stayed in its category, which we're very thrilled about.
Yeah, because they can change it to whatever category they want. What category did you enter that in?
Traditional pop vocal, which is in the jazz field.
Yeah, okay, because it has a jazz feel to it. It's a nice singer on there. And on the bridge, kind of an extension of the chorus. And then, with the instrumentation, I know it's on an MP3, but I don't know. I was going to ask Darryl, did it sound like it was a 65-35 mix in that song, Darryl?
Well,
65 for the vocals and 35 for the instrumentation?
no, it's fairly well mixed. I mean, there's certainly some changes you can make, but as far as, like I said, it sounded like a 007 type of
Yeah, it had that feel.
Look of Love was good. That would be a good comparison.
Yeah. Well, it had a nice melodic feel to it, especially in the instrumentation. And it's a nice song. It's a pop vocal song. I hope your song goes past the first round. There kind of makes me think of a song that we had nominated, and it got to the third round. And of course, they changed the category and they put us in the same category with Justin Bieber and Taylor Swift and what's her name? Big Adele. And so I said, boy, we have a big chance. But we got to the third round, so that was something. But anyhow, I wish you the best on that. I like the song, and who knows, at least did the person singing it, did he put it in for nomination, or are you a member of the Recording Academy?
No, it's a woman, Leah Mehta.
Oh, okay. She's a member?
Yes, she is. And so
okay. Yeah. Okay. I've been a member for quite a long time now.
Yeah. It's like as it stands now, it looks like we'll probably be up against Lady Gaga. So
wonderful.
that'd be the first time this has happened. So
you should have gone to the event that the Recording Academy had at Amazon Music Studios. They had Grammy nominees that were performing there. You didn't know about that?
Well, again, I'm not a member, and my singer is not from the U.S., so it's a little tricky.
Oh, okay, I got you.
I say my singer; she's my collaborator. It's actually her album.
I got you. Okay, good voice on the singer.
But you put some nice money into the arrangement. You could tell it was very professionally done. There's real nice sound to it.
Thank you very much, both of you.
Yeah, you always bring the best stuff there, Denise. I love your stuff.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Nice melodic feel to it. I like that.
Yeah, the one thing that I was wondering about is, was it your decision or another producer's decision to put the flugel in there instead of a different instrument for the?
Not mine at all. Once I hand over the song to them, it's between the producers and Leah. It's up to so.
Yeah.
I don't think they overdid it. I thought the flugel was nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought the
They
flugel was
did a
good too.
job.
Yeah, I personally, being a guitar player, I would have stuck, like some nylon string guitar in there, but then it would start sounding too much like smooth, I think. But anyway, very, very cool.
Thank you
All
very
right.
much.
Okay, next up we have Dan Marcus, and this is called You Won't Find, let's see, You Won't Find the State I'm In, I guess it is. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, hi, hello everyone. Yeah, this is a country song, straightforward. There's actually one of those parenthetical subtitles. The second part is on any map, as you can see. It's a collaboration with Patrick Dollahan and Simone Laser. And I think it's pretty self-explanatory, but you guys will let me know.
Okay.
There's no doubt she loved me, at least back at the start. I went out and broke the rules, and that broke us apart. Thought she would come back around, it looks like I was wrong. Yeah, I've been down this road before, but never this far gone. You won't find the state I'm in on any map. I sure took a wrong turn, I can't find my way back. Don't know where I'm going, don't know where I'm at. You won't find the state I'm in on any map. Just can't believe we're over, it's slowly sinking in. All the things I shared with her, we'll never get to share again. I'm stuck here at the crossroads of what was and now ain't so. Guess I've got my freedom, but I got no place to go. And you won't find the state I'm in on any map. I sure took a wrong turn, I can't find my way back. Don't know where I'm going, don't know where I'm at. You won't find the state I'm in on any map. Use a GPS or MapQuest, let Google be your guide. You can search for me from sea to sea, put a call out nationwide, but you won't find the state I'm in on any map. I sure took a wrong turn, I can't find my way back. I don't know where I'm.
Well, since I'm the country guy, I'll start.
Okay.
It's a good 90s country song. My problem is the lyrics are confusing because you're talking about breaking up and then they won't find you on the map. So you don't know if that's because you're staying away from her, she's chasing you. At the end, at the bridge, you start making it sound like she's chasing you. So the lyrics are a little confusing to me. If it's like, if it's my exes are all in Texas type of a feel, and you just want to get away from her, then you need to make that a little more clearer in the verse, in my opinion. But I just, it's hard to, your chorus doesn't really fit with what you're saying in the verse, in my opinion. And As far as the song itself, it's a good 90s style country. And country goes through so many phases. It's really hard. We got the Jason Aldean phase that we're just kind of getting out of, and they don't really know where they're going right now. The Morgan Wallaces, and although they're kind of all over the place at this point. So country's trying to find its legs again. And I've been in country long enough to where you get one thing, and then you get another thing, and then you get another thing, and you get another thing. And country does cycle around with some artists, but this is a little very traditional 90s type country. So I might go with a little more different instrumentation, just to kind of maybe a different feel on the drums a little bit, just to kind of bring it to a little more modern audience. It's used to the more Luke Combs or Jason Aldean, and now they got the Jelly Roll stuff out there, which is interesting stuff, but it's basically ballads. But country's kind of taking a different branch now, so you got to be aware of where country is when you're writing a song.
Okay, thank you.
It's too bad that I don't know if you have any memberships. Like, I'm a member of the Country Music Association. In fact, I voted yesterday, and I get to see and hear the nominees in the different categories before I vote. And I can tell what they're doing. And Darryl's point is well taken. It's an older style, traditional type of country, which you did there. And yeah, some of the instruments in there, you could try different things. I don't know, maybe, what do you think, Darryl? A piano?
Piano wouldn't hurt, but I think it's more just the drum pattern a little bit, maybe, and just some counter melody. The way it's sung is very formula.
Yeah, it is. I listen to a lot of different artists and songs, all the ones that Darryl was mentioning that they did the third round of the voting, I guess. But this song was smooth, simple. It was a good singer. But it is that a completed version that you did?
For now. Yeah, for now, but I regard everything as being in process, so I'm not stuck on anything.
Who sang it?
Got a singer named Red Marlowe.
Okay.
He's based in Nashville.
He's in Nashville. Okay.
He's in Nashville, right.
Did they do the demo in Nashville?
It was done in Nashville. Yeah, I went with one of my collaborators, and we recorded it in Nashville with a guy named Mark Riddick. So it's a Nashville. Yeah, I mean, it's a Nashville production.
They still do in their so-called demos. They still do a lot of traditional older country things. They've done that for a lot of years, and then for a while they were changing over because they wanted to throw the Hollywood thing in there. But now they're kind of switching around again. But I know Darryl can turn that into a killer if he was,
I hope you didn't go through Paramount Group or one of those in Nashville.
Yeah,
they'll just knock out the same thing all day, the same riffs all day.
Oh, really? I did not, but I'll keep that in mind for the future.
I don't think Paramount's still around, Darryl. They're gone.
But yeah, that's one of the problems when you
they crank
through
them
Nashville,
all out.
or you get studio players that are just going to knock out a bunch of songs in a weekend type of thing. I mean, I love putting like classical violinist on a country song because you don't know what you're going to get, and that's the fun of it. To do kind of bit.
That's what I was going to say. Piano, violin, but they tend to they do demos for less cost in Nashville, but a lot of the musicians traditionally that would come in where a lot of them were with the name artists, and they get off the road, and they have these people come in and they cut these deals where they do several songs for a low price, but they've done that for a long time. But uh, I did some things in Nashville, but I like to do, a different kind of sound than what they do. And in your song there, it does definitely have that very traditional, older style country. And that's, something that they still do, but uh, you'd think that they uh, moved up into crossing the line and doing uh, more country pop crossover, and instead of, because you're competing with, uh, Nashville is an insider's town, and for people that say come from LA or come out that are outsiders, they have a tough time seeing the people and coming up with something that they really have to like what you have. But they try to keep within their own group. I mean, they're the country music capital of the world. And so, but they still do that. And your demo is very reminiscent of the way that they've do that in Nashville for a long time. So
If I understand what you're saying, if I can ask a question, yeah, obviously the song is not the kind of thing, it's not contemporary country, but are you saying that that this song, if I so chose, could still be, even though it's very traditional, I realize, are you saying it could still be freshened up, let's say, with new instrumentation? Is that
It
what?
can certainly be made better with some counter melodies and other instrumentation, things that would bring it out of the traditional 90s sound.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe make it a little
You
more
can, it's like if you gave a song to an artist. I remember Linda Ronstadt was looking for some songs, and she liked the song we gave her, but she didn't put it on her album because she was looking for pop songs. Well, what does pop mean? And she could take a gospel song or an R&B song and change it to do her rendition. And if she was doing country, you could style it. In your case, you could do a different kind of rendition that would take it to a different level and take it away from being so much traditional and make it where it could cross over.
Okay.
Kind of like what Kenny Rogers used to do. He crossed over into pop. A lot of Shania Twain crossed over into pop because it's a bigger market. But yes, your song could be retreated and doing a rendition that, if you put them side by side, you'd see what the difference is. It'd be a great difference. It'd be like another song.
Okay. But you said but you found the lyric confusing, which is interesting because that's information for me. I hadn't thought of that. To me, I mean, the song's intended to be a third person description of a relationship, but if it appeared to you that you weren't sure what the POV was,
well, you're talking about the relationship, and then you're talking about can't find you on a map. But why can't they find you on a map? Are you getting away? Is she chasing after you? I mean, none of that is clear.
Okay.
A lot of times, you're the creator, you wrote the song, but having a team of people around you that could sit down and analyze it so they can come up with something that, they can agree upon and put it out into the marketplace is the best way, because you could write something and think that, well, you know what? I wrote a country song. I'm going to pitch it to Nashville and, I'm going to get someone to cut it. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem to work that way. It,
Okay.
it it works in a lot of different ways, but you can treat something that comes across different,
Mhm.
you know, and I'll give you a quick example. Years ago, these two guys that lived in California wrote a song called Achy Breaky Heart.
Oh yeah.
They put it out on their record and did kind of good. It wasn't country though. And guess what? What's his name? He made
Billy Ray Cyrus.
country hit. What's that?
Billy Ray Cyrus.
Yeah, Billy Ray Cyrus, and and he uh, uh, he changed that whole thing. They didn't have a success with it, and that was 10 years before he ever did it. So you're taking the same song done two different ways. One was they did more of a pop, and he did a country. Well, he liked it, and he did it, and he did it his style for country, and it worked.
One of the things that we were talking about here again, the sound alikes and stuff. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not a great thing. The arrangement on that, the recording, although it's very good, it's definitely Nashville vanilla.
Yeah, yeah, good
it's
term.
yeah, Nashville vanilla because it.
Nashville vanilla, I like that. I've never heard that, but that's good. That describes it.
Yeah, because there's so many songs that sound like that, and of course, you know, you put that out there, and everybody says, "Oh, it sounds like this song," or "It must be this song," and it's not, and it's your song. And I love that song because you know you won't find that state I'm in on any map. That's very memorable. I was singing along. It was a great hook, great line, but it got lost because it sounds like just a generic kind of a thing. So even putting in something really stupid like I forget what song it was. They were talking about the guy grabbed a toilet brush and he was hitting a bucket with a toilet brush, and that percussion made an interesting sound that was not on any other thing. So I said, "Wow, that's an interesting sound," and that brought it into something different. So when you heard that percussion, you don't know what it is, but you know right away it's that song because of that sound.
Okay,
So,
I'll try that.
You know, when I was voting on the CMA, and they had all these lists, and you could listen to the song, and there were all the names, and this was true with most of the male singers on there. I listened to them and I said, you know what? God, they're so generic to one another, and yet it was a popularity contest. And because I saw the songs were so similar, so Nashville traditional, and they still do that. Well, they do that, they can get away with it because, they're country music and they have their market and there's people that love country music. But I had to listen to it very carefully to see who I was going to vote for. And they had a whole list of people. And I think I'm sorry, it was the second round. You could pick 5 people in one category. And yeah, I recognized the names. I saw who was what, but I still had to listen to it. And I didn't see lots of difference in any of them.
Wow.
So.
Okay. Interesting.
All right.
Well,
Thanks.
thank you very much. Very valuable. Appreciate it.
All right, Steve.
Next up we have Violet Whimsy. Violet, you want to?
It's Ann, actually. Ann, you there?
Okay.
Unmute her. There she is.
Hi guys. Hey. Hi. And my artist project is Violet Whimsy. Yeah, this song is called Heartbreaker, and it is about, I guess, being a heartbreaker. That's pretty straightforward, but yeah, the lyrics I've emailed to you as well. So
I guess I like the ones that don't stand a chance. I guess I like the ones that just take a glance. I really wish that I could
Lots going on there. That's good. Pretty nice arrangement. The vocal is buried, so that I would certainly bring that vocal out. And I like the effect of putting the needle in the groove at the beginning of the song. That was unique. Chuck, what do you have?
Okay. I think the vocal needs to be remixed. It needs to be brought up more. I think the chorus needs to be built up more, and I was having a little problem. The chorus and the verses, it was, there wasn't a lot of change. It was almost like there wasn't a chorus. And just to let you know, there's been a lot of songs written about heartbreakers, and I know that came up a lot in the song, but maybe if the chorus was built up more, maybe the instrumentation in the verses changed a little bit, and definitely the vocal remix, because it needs to be brought up.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I've heard your stuff live a few times now, so I know what it's all about. I know you can do a lot better than that.
Yeah.
One of the things for a chorus, again, the chorus is the biggest part of it, and it has to explode. And it can explode. I know you can do this. Like, you say, "Said I've always been a heartbreaker." Well, that's nice. But then if you go, "I said I've always been a heartbreaker," and really nail that hard so that you know it's something different and you know you're going into the chorus, I think that would make a world of difference in how it comes out. And like they were all saying, now it comes out as something different. But really nailing it hard like that, I think would really help quite a bit. And although I like the needle drop thing too, I prefer having the needle drop when it means something to the song. Like if it's talking about going back or being retro or something, where you're reflecting on something, or you want to hear something that's a little bit older, you're remembering about something. The needle drop works with that because that's part of that whole emotion. It almost seemed random, although it was fun. So that's just something that I would look at as a producer myself. So we'll talk about that next time I see it.
Another thing, elaborating a little more on what Jimmy said, it's good to get as much input on your song and get people's opinions, especially from people in the industry, that you can digest and utilize that to try it, to make something better. And Jimmy's right about in the chorus, man, you want that to really, really, God, heartbreaker, let it go. But getting input from different people is important, because you can learn a lot, and you can get input that can help you to make something better.
Yeah. Great. Well, thank you guys for listening.
Okay.
This is the last one. This is mine. This is called "But I Do," and it's basically about people who jump to conclusions about other people without really knowing them. So, share my screen.
People say you have a checkered past. People tell me we ain't gonna last. But I've got something to say about that. I've got
something to say. They don't even know a thing about you. In your eyes I see those lies are not true. They don't even know a thing about you. But I do, but I There's two sides to every story. Sometimes words that have two meanings. Did they look upon the other side? Did they listen to you? They don't even know a thing about you. In your eyes I see those lies are not true. They don't even know a thing about you. But I do, but I do. Haters lie in wait behind every door, spreading lies and gossip about things they don't know. Mission is destruction to satisfy their jealous soul. They don't even know a thing about you. In your eyes I see those lies are not true. They don't even know a thing about you. But I do, but I do. They don't even know a thing about you. In your eyes I see those lies are not true. They don't even know a thing about you. But I do, but I do, but I do, but I do.
What's the name of the song? Yeah.
Chuck, you go ahead.
Okay. What's the title of the song again?
But I do.
Oh yeah, that's right. But I do. Um, you know, if I were doing that, I'd put background harmonies in the chorus to enhance and give more flavor to the vocals. That would really take it another step higher. And the bridge is like a break, and then it comes back in with the instrumental, then it comes back in with the chorus, but the bridge kind of didn't sound like a bridge. The instrumental part was the bridge, but then you had the part with the words in there, and that I think a bridge kind of takes you out for a moment and brings you back in, which you did with the instrumental there, and then you came in with the chorus. But the first part of that bridge didn't come across as a bridge like it should have.
Okay, gotcha.
I thought it was a pretty good song. The lyrics, I think there should be a little more. The chorus is pretty good, but in the verse, I would just go a little more into painting a picture. It's all kind of just about how you feel,
Okay.
or that everybody's picking on, that they don't see her the way you do, type of a thing. But you could use some examples on that. And Chuck is right on the bridge. It needs something to make it stand out, maybe a stop on the end with a drum intro back into the chorus or something to really give it a good break there. And then on the your counter melody was guitars following the vocal in the second half of the verse, and then they kind of do the same thing in the chorus. It doesn't. So I'd change that just a little bit, maybe a little more counter melody with those guitars in the chorus type of a thing, but not as loud. I'd bring it down a little bit and just have them do something a little different because it's just a little too similar to the last half of the verse for me. But other than that, it's a pretty good song.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
It very good song, but you know what? Darryl hit the good point. The song needs the right kind of changes in the song and the structure there, so that you really get into it, because you got the feel there, and it just needs to be some adjustments there to change the things that need to be changed that make sense. And I think you'd take it to another level. It'd be a lot better.
Thanks. Thanks for your input.
I was going to ask you, is this a Travis or a Rye, or who did the production?
This is a guy in New York City, who Paul Howells is his name.
Paul, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there any reason why you wanted it more rock instead of something different?
This guy who played the instruments and the lead guitar, he's from the punk rock tradition by his own description, so it kind of came out that way.
Yeah, it did.
Because
the
in
problem.
other words, when you do use different producers, they have their own backgrounds, and
Exactly, because
that's
it didn't
his
sound like
background.
either one of the guys you usually use. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. This one's a bit different than my normal the other producers I work with. Yes.
Yeah.
That was the problem.
Well, it's still pretty cool. Lyrically, though, I always thought that you would go electronica on this one.
Yeah.
Because electronica fits the lyric a little bit better, I think.
There you go.
Oh, really? Okay.
That's the answer. Change to the right things.
Yeah, do the electronica version. That'll be cool.
Yeah, that would.
Okay, well, let's see. There's still a couple other people here. Did you have any other questions, John or Karen? No questions. Okay, you guys have a good time. I had a great time, man.
I didn't miss anybody, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Jimmy didn't get to perform.
No, I don't.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Thanks for the coffee cup, Jimmy.
Thank you.
Yeah. He's got the SongNet coffee cup from last time he was there. So thank you so much, man.
We wanted his coffee mug.
Yeah, well, you get one too there, Chuck. So, we'll get you on that.
Oh.
Okay, well, thank you so much, guys, for being here. And once
Thank you,
again,
Jimmy.
thank you, Colonel Darryl and Chuck.
Thank you both.
Gentlemen, thank you, both of you. Yeah.
One thing I was going to leave you with, our door is always open to review and evaluate music. And if you want to send us music so that we can review it and evaluate it and tell you, because we have a number of people that listen there and they put their input, and it's designed to help you. And that's the nice thing about it. If you want to submit your music, because we're always looking for good songs.
You want to put your email in the chat?
Yeah, you can go to Chuck_Bigfish43 at att.net. I had a thing on our submission thing, but that's all right. You can email, and then we can give you permission through the email, and then you can just send it in. Our preference, though, just so you know, is we don't really like reviewing something on the internet, an MP3. Our preference is to take it off your WAV file and send us something that we can really listen to that's not compressed.
Do you work together, the two of you? Can I ask?
I help produce songs that Chuck feels needs brought up to the next step. I work with a lot of his people that submit songs to him. It's one of the things that I do, and then I also work for film production studios. But
well, you know what? Darryl and I are in the iron and steel business. He irons and I steel. No, I'm just kidding. No, but
if I could double check,
if you want to get reviews and evaluations, we can do that for you. We've done that for a lot of years, and believe it or not, it's helped a lot of people. And Darryl's done a lot of projects.
Yeah, and in fact, one of the artists that they've worked with is here now. That's John Bosman down in the blue shirt there. And John and I have played some gigs together, and he's gotten some incredible response which kind of shows that, regardless of what you may think about your own music, everyone else is going to think about it differently, and you'll find your audience no matter what you do and where you go. It's just a matter of being in the right place, the right time, and doing it as much as you can, just being out there.
John's song "Meet Me at the Gate" is on YouTube. I did a lyric video and we produced the song. Nice little song. So go check out John Bossman on YouTube.
Meet Me at the Gate.
Thank you, Darryl.
Can I double check that email one more time? It's
Yeah, can I ask Chuck to do the email again, please?
Yeah, Chuck
On my
underscore.
email again, I should put it up there. Chuck _ Big Fish 43 at att.net.
Okay.
Mine is on the screen in the chat.
I put it on the chat. Yeah.
And you can also check out a lot of things we put on our Facebook page. A lot of interesting videos that Darryl's done, some of the song lyric videos, which came out great. And I put a lot of things on there that I produced. And then there's people I've worked with. I'll put their things on there. And rare videos that people don't even know exist. And it's kind of you scroll down there, guy, you see a lot of different great things. And all you have to do on that is just go to Chuck Tennin on Facebook. That's all you got to do.
And I got John and Chuck in a movie next year called Desert Queen. It's a vampire movie. Should be really good. So watch for it.
Yeah.
All right. When is it coming out, Darryl?
It should come out probably March or April. It'll be on Tubi, be on Amazon streaming, all the streaming services.
Oh,
Called
cool.
Desert Queen.
John and I got in a scene. We got bitten by vampires in the neck, and
That's right.
late at night, and here I am still alive. It was fun though.
All right. Well, thank you once again, guys. It was a great night. I think for those of you that are watching on the archive on YouTube, you're going to be. I hope you had a good time too, and you were able to gather some information here. That's what we're all about, making sure we make those connections. And speaking of making connections, our next guest speaker is NARIP. Tess Taylor has been running NARIP pretty much as long as we've been running SongNet, and her thing is all about making those connections. But she works on a little bit higher level than we do because she works with people that already have some connections and need to go like a next step higher than that. So Tess Taylor, that'll be in November. I forgot what the November date is. November 12th, I think, or something like that, or 13th. November 7th, I think. Yeah, November 7th. So we'll see you guys next time. Till then, have a good one. Steve, you rock. Thanks again for doing everything for us.
Most welcome, Jimmy. Thank you for everybody. Thank you guys for coming out and being here and hanging out.
And our showcase is coming up in 2 weeks too. Steve again is taking care of that for us. So come and play if you're in the LA area. See you next time.
Bye-bye, guys.